So welcome back to a brand new preview show here for the for Scarborough IUFC. And to be honest with you, Matty, I didn't quite think we'd be back on the preview show this early in January. I kind of thought we may have had a couple of weeks off, but we're back, having that postponed game behind us. The Christmas and New Year periods behind us now. You must be looking forward to getting back to North One East action.
Yeah, exactly. It was obviously kind of real kind of touch and go that back end of last year. We know we definitely kind of gave the lads a good time off between Christmas and New Year's, just because of everything what was going on and all their families and everything else that they were seeing. So yeah, but it's exciting. I think the guys are probably re-energized. Last night's training was great, and yeah, it's great to pick from a full kind of squad of players leading into Bradford and Bingley this weekend. So hopefully everything going to plan, nothing kind of changes, and we can carry on with the season.
I know we spoke prior to the season ending, Matty, and of course there's an article coming out in the newspaper tomorrow that we did together. I mean, are you surprised that you're back playing the first week in January, or was it just a case of, do you know what, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, we'll just wait and see how sort of the year progresses?
Yeah, exactly. I thought it's going to be kind of quite difficult, and as probably like what has kind of been said, as if it stops, like how's it going to kind of get started again? So unfortunately, we were one of the sports that kind of missed out quite a huge kind of chunk the last time kind of we got into lockdown and we broke up. So by all accounts, no, I didn't really kind of like want it to happen. But by all accounts, if it did kind of happen, we always know that it was going to be the safety of all the players, the members, the supporters, and everything, and everyone kind of else. So as obviously a playing kind of or an involved kind of person in rugby, it's pleasing that we can kind of carry on the season as is, and hopefully, yeah, there are no changes.
Yeah, and I mean, the team that you've picked, Matt, is pretty much similar to what we've been accustomed to seeing. Joe Nellis, Darren Thompson, and Sam Dawson make up the front row. It's Will Renard, Luke Brown, Ewan Govier, Drew Govier, and Dylan Robinson. Now, there is a change at 9. We'll come on and talk to that in just a minute. But Alex Rowley goes into 9. Tom Ratcliffe at 10. Joe Davis and Harry Dommett are on the wing. Aaron Wilson, Joe Marshall in the centre. And Jonty Holloway returns at fullback. Tom Reed, Jordan Holloway, and Tom Harrison are on the bench. Just talking about that scrum half position, Matty, of course, for those fans who don't know, that Carlos has obviously left the club. He stays over the couple of months that he's had. How big are the shoes that people are going to have to fill now that Carlos has gone? Because you've got to admit he's had a great couple of months with us.
Yeah, it's huge. One player obviously doesn't kind of make a team. We could probably change a bit of a game plan. The way he kind of played, we were able to play obviously a little bit kind of faster. And we were probably able to play a little bit more with. But with Rolo, we know what Rolo's kind of going to bring to the kind of table. It's a great shot for him. Obviously, he's been an understudy to Geordie Wakeham over the last kind of like few years, and then obviously to Carlos, but he's been sticking at it, and he's always asked and always wanted kind of things to kind of work on, and he goes away and does it like any kind of guy wants to kind of get better in his position. So we know that maybe just have to probably be a little bit tighter, but Rolo's really aggressive. So he brings that kind of real aggressiveness, and he's also kind of like a small back rower. So in and around that kind of ruck period. So yeah, so we're excited to give Alex a good shot, and hopefully he kind of takes it with open arms and really impresses this weekend.
Yeah, and as the season is now sort of coming to the latter stages, and obviously the first half is done, for Alex, this is a real opportunity to cement his place in the side, isn't it? And at number 9, because it's such a vocal point of the side. It's hard you don't see many players chopping and changing at 9. So for him, these next couple of games could be massive for his long-term future in the first team.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, and it's all about the kind of combination. So it's always going to work best with Raddy, as well at obviously that 10 position. So yes, as we said that we always kind of said when Carlos was leaving, we gave him a couple of kind of games off the bench, but obviously it's a lot difficult to kind of come into that 9 position in winter when the weather's obviously awful. He played at kind of Cleckhead and came off the bench, and the ball wasn't even kind of rolling on the ground. So obviously obviously a difficult kind of start. But as I said, his experience, he's had kind of 4 or 5 years kind of as an understudy, and he's captained the seconds as well. So yeah, as I said, it's exciting, and what we have done this year is we've given people opportunity that have been training and really kind of putting that effort in, and he's no exception to that. He's going to obviously kind of take that opportunity and run with it.
Yeah, and it seems a while ago that we were at Bradford and Bingley on that sunny, hot afternoon in September, where we came away with a 59-32 victory, in which you stopped a potential comeback from the Bees. They arrive at Silveroid, Matty, on Saturday at the foot of the table. They're in not a very good position at all. But having said that, they're not to be taken lightly, are they, on Saturday?
No, and we say that week in, week out. There's no team that's going to have to be taken lightly in this competition. They're only kind of 3 or 4 kind of injuries and replacements kind of away from being a solid outfit. And they showed against us, they scored 39 points against us at home on their kind of soil. And every one of those tries were great tries. They scored from depth, and they had some good kind of classy skilled backs. But the first kind of part of the season's over. So the guys whoever new in, or the younger kind of lads, have all had that kind of half a year experience, and they're going to come back looking to try and get off the foot of the table the second half of the year, and that'll start with us. So if we're not on song and we're still kind of in our kind of Christmas and honeymoon kind of period over the last kind of couple of weeks, we'll be in for a huge shock. So it's not the way that we want to start off our 2022 campaign.
Definitely, Matty. And just finally, I know we're looking a little bit too far in the future, but having looked at the fixture list for the remainder of the season, between January and February, you've only got 2 games that are away from home. How important is that going to be for your side to have such a good run at home to potentially pick up points and maybe turn games that you may have lost away from home into points that you're going to win and keep you pushing up the table?
Yeah, it's huge. We spoke about it last night already, kind of when we got back together, and we outlined that we've got an opportunity. We wanted to try and make Scarborough a fortress, and we want to try and make it difficult for teams coming across. We did that in the first half of the year, but that's only kind of half the season done. So we've got a great opportunity to kind of really build some kind of confidence for some of the kind of younger lads. Hopefully we can maybe get a couple of kind of the Colts through over the next kind of month or so as well, because obviously now that they've transitioned, they're allowed to kind of play senior rugby. So I'd be excited to try and get maybe 1 or 2 of the lads who are there or thereabouts been training and looking good at Colts to kind of come up and have a kind of a run out obviously have a run out with us. So it's really exciting, and hopefully we get the buy-in from all the lads again, and we can kind of get back into the swing of things.